comes running up the stairs. Thank you, Jesus. And she says, I've been praying about you. I didn't know that you go to this church. No, I didn't know you went to this church. You're here, we're here. So we hugged. Everything was awesome. About a week later, on 11/21 of 2008, I have that tattoo there because me and her got a tattoo that we were stopped drinking on that day, because on that day, we got in one more argument and her kids got taken by CPS. In America, if you don't treat your kids right and you let them do wrong things, or you have abuse around them or alcohol, the government takes your kids out and puts them in a home. They took her kids. We agreed that we weren't going to drink anymore on that date, but we still keep doing drugs. We still kept fighting. We fought the system for 9 months, and we got our kids back. And then about 3 months later, we got one more argument. It was the big argument. I came home against the ruling of the judge, who said, if you come around her one more time, we're going to throw you away for a long time if we find you with her. She said, honey, please come home. Please, 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 I need you. But the judge said, no, if I do, it's going to be 2, 4, 6 years in the prison. I can't come home. Honey, please, I love you. No! I had found Jesus. I forgot to mention that about a week prior to that, I had made the phone call to the pastor of the hour, and he led me to Christ on the phone and out front of her house. On a curb, sitting down. That's how I received Jesus on the phone. Out in front of her house, I just got locked out for another fight. I couldn't get into the house. I couldn't get into my car because the car was in the car keys were inside the house. I had been stuck out all night in the cold. And by the morning, I was about beat down as I could. I didn't know where else to turn. She took me to church. The pastor spoke to me. I called and said, Pastor, I'm locked out of the house. The kids are gone. I really screwed things up. What can I do? When he led me to Christ right there, he said, are you sick of it? I said, yes. And we walked right through the prayer. And then it went even worse. Can you guys believe that it even got worse? Oh boy, it got a lot worse. So after that, like I said, kids got taken away. We got them back. We got a bigger, better house. I was listening to the Lord a little bit. We went to church a couple more times. Went to a couple of Celebrate Recovery groups, a couple of AA meetings. Saw the movie Fireproof, which is a stable Christian movie. Some of you guys might have seen it. It talks about love. Did all that. We were praying. We had decided not to have sex anymore, that we would be celibate, but we still did drugs. We had a warped sense of reality. It was okay to do drugs and get loaded, but it was not okay for us to have sex. Because every time we had sex, it seems like something went wrong. Drugs have that tendency to mess your brain up. We got a better house. We lost the 3-bedroom condo in Rancho. We got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. And just down the street was a miracle from God. They took dogs. We had a Great Dane about as high as me. When he stood up, he was about as tall as me. No one takes dogs. You can't have big dogs like that in our country. We got the miracle house. Well, we got to that final fight. I did go home. Remember, guys, I was saying, she kept saying, come home, come home, come home, against the judge's demands. The way she got me home was she told me that if you don't come here, Robbie's coming over. I'm getting showered up right now and putting on my best outfit, and we're going to hang out for a little while. Basically, she was saying, if you don't come home, you have sex with Robbie. That broke my heart. I paid $120 in drugs to get up there. So happened that a friend of mine was driving to Las Vegas and was on the way to where I was going. He threw me in his car, dropped me out there. We got in an argument. I went to sleep. I woke up with her pounding on the door. I stepped outside the door. I said, what? What? I'm trying to get some rest. I just got here in the middle of the night. She spit in my face. I slapped her. Ah! Off to the races. Kids, 911, he's beating me. No. 2, 4, 6 years in prison, no. Trying to grab the kids, pull the phone from Berlin, the daughter, pull the pinky back. Bam! That's another offense. Got the cell phones in my pocket. She's running out, closing the garage door. River's running under the door. No, 6 years in prison. River, get back in here. He listened. Then Julie, boom, out the door to the neighbors. She's got the neighbors. Hi, he's beating me. He's killing me. Oh, no, come on, let's talk about this. No. Pull her home. If you move someone more than 3 feet in the state of California, that's considered kidnapping. Kidnapping carries a 15 to life sentence. They piled so many charges on me, the district attorney and the judge wanted to throw me the key away forever. They had tampering of cell phones, that carries 1 to 5 years. They had abusing a child, that carries about 5 to 10 years. Kidnapping, a 15-year life sentence. They piled so many charges on me, I think it was 2 or 12. Made me out to be the worst guy in the world, when all I was trying to do was just control the situation. I ended up waking up in prison, in jail, with those charges. The guys that have been in prison a while and been in jail said, "You're screwed." So I just got an argument. I didn't do anything. She spit in my face. I said, "She's served." "Oh, you're going away." "What do you mean?" Kidnapping carries 15 years to life. And you know what? When you're in prison, there's 3 charges that will get you in trouble with the other inmates too. You rape a girl, you touch a kid, or you kidnap someone's baby. They don't like you. So not only was I in jail, I was in jail with a charge that they could take my life for. You know what people with those charges, when they come into a cell and they don't know any better, what inmates do in our prisons, if someone touches a kid, rapes a woman, or kidnaps a baby, they kill them. They find out your number, they call the attorney, and they kill you. They beat you to death. Even the guards and the security go push the button, open the door where the guys come in. And they don't just beat you, they take these big things called bone shakers, bone crunchers, they put them in, they're made out, they flip them off, they lay at the table, they strike them up, and they jab them into your sides. I had to worry about all that. So anyway, long story short, ended up getting out. The Lord found me in prison. I started doing Bible or in jail while I was fighting that. Mom put a lot of money down on the credit card in Mom's house. I tried to deal with the district attorney and the judge that I wouldn't see that woman again, and that the next time would be prison time if I messed up. Got out in less than 30 days by the grace of God. All those things reduced, no kidnapping charge. It was called corporal injury on a spouse. It was domestic violence charge. It was a lot lesser. It actually could be, it's called wobbler. After you do your prison term, you get out of prison and you get out of probation, you can get it reduced. Well, I got back out, like I said, I was doing Bible studies. They were coming to me saying, "Pastor, can you pray?" I really started getting close to what the Lord spoke to me about my mission, which is actually what you guys are seeing right now. The Lord spoke to me that you would go out and talk to men and preach the gospel around the world. And I saw everything. He started giving me things to write down, of ideas and things of that nature, things that would happen. I have still at home. I have a folder that has about 30 pages of things that the Lord showed me back then, of things that were to come, and the calling on my life to preach the gospel around the world. I started doing a little bit of preaching in jail, but when I got out, you know what a lot of people do when they're in prison? They find God, but in jail, they find God, they find the Bible. As soon as they get out, they leave the Bible in the jail and they go home. I did the same thing. I went right back out of jail after I had the worst fight of my life. Just barely squeezed out 15 years to life. And what a big dummy I was, I went back to the same fraud. Right back home again. She did the same tactics on me, finagled me into going back over there. And she lost the house. We ended up in a hotel, Motel 6, living out of the hotel. We were still together. I had a job at that time, and I started smoking weed, which is crystal meth. I don't know if you guys have that here. It's a drug that is way worse than cocaine. Got caught by the cops and they threw me in prison. That was about the lowest point of my life. To see my mom in court and to have the judge say, "You are being sentenced to a maximum security prison for 2 years." My mom started crying. Julie was there. It was the last time I saw her. She sort of a court case to try and get me out of the prison time. Didn't work. The judge says, "I know what you're doing. I've seen this before. You guys need to get apart, and I'm going to make it happen." 2 years in prison. Oh, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in jail or prison before. Jail is one thing. You go there for a few nights. You're drunk, you wake up, you get out, it's not that big a deal. You know, you might be a little uncomfortable, you sleep with a toilet paper roll or something like that. Prison, friends and men, is way different. The walls in America are about 30 feet high. They have barbed wires. There's a gate that separates the walls that has two fences. That there's a picture on the fence of a man that's being shot back, dead. The gunners like we have in this country, AK-47 ready to shoot you. They said that they will shoot they have a sign that says on the walls, warning, no warning, shot fired. Warning, no warning, shot fired. Prison is the worst place. Streets, being homeless, been there, done that, having no hope when you're free, that's not comparing to having no hope when you can't get out of the place. There's something about being locked up when you can't get out that messes with your head. It just messes you up, jacks your brain up, the fact that you can't leave. And then on top of it, knowing that I had those messed up charges on my record from before, I had to hide those. It's really hard to hide things when they ask when you come into a place to see your ID. It's not an ID, it's an actually piece of paper that has all your charges on it that you've ever had. It's called 501B. It has all the charges that you've ever done. They asked to see them. So these inmates would see everything that I did. And they would kill me. But only by the grace of God, I ended up on the yard. I ended up walking into my first time of being celled up with a man, 6x9 cell, 6 feet. By 9 feet. So with another gentleman, 2 bunk beds in there, a toilet. And a desk right on the cubby holes to put your stuff is in mine. And I happened to walk in and you heard stories about Bubba, you heard stories about the big skinhead guy, leaves a Snickers bar on your pillow, and if you get a Snickers bar, that means you're his girlfriend. I didn't know none of that stuff. I walk in there, I'm scared to death. Walk in, the guy's not there, I see a guitar. Remember, I'm Christian. I'm in prison though, scared to death. And I see a guitar, and I go, I'm a bass player, and the band, great, we can do music. Look on the shelves, nothing but Bibles, study Bibles, lexicon. This dude's a Christian or a Catholic or whatever. Praise Jesus. And I get to get comfortable, he comes back. He was a Christian. We spent the next 3 weeks from John 1 to John 5 studying every night. We only got as far as John 5 in 3 weeks. The Lord was pouring into my life. We started hanging out. We'd go out to the yard, and he'd show me the ropes, show me where not to go, where to go. This is the wall where the guards can't see and they kill people. Notice there's brown stains on the ground. That's blood. People die. Stay away from there. You don't want to get caught back there. The guards can see it. They want to kill you. If someone comes up behind you and tries to get you there, you run. The Lord started stripping me. Started walking right. This gentleman was named Joseph Enns. He said, watch your language. People are watching. You're a Christian now. You'll notice people don't cuss around me. You need to stop being like this. Oh, no, I'm a punker. No. Well, the Lord started stripping all of that from me. Eventually I started cussing. Eventually I stopped listening to all the music that I used to listen to. He would play praise songs. He would start stripping me of those. I was holding on to my punk rock music. I wasn't letting that go. The Lord said, get rid of it. Eventually got on from a maximum security prison yard towards the end of my sentence to a lower level where the walls are lower and the guns aren't loaded. He ended up working, doing evangelism in the dorms, prayer circles again. He started being used of the Lord. Eventually told my girlfriend, Julie, who I was talking to at that time, you can use the cell phone in prison if you pay enough money. And I told her the Lord put it on my heart not to do that anymore. I'm representing the church. I'm now at the church, opening the church up every day and having service and stuff like that, and doing sweeping and a little service around the church, setting up the chairs for services. I was a Christian. I can't do this. Eventually, I told her, no more phone calls. I'm not doing this. Stop looking at the girls on the TV screen. They would have the girls dancing around on the shows on the weekends. Stop looking at that. Made sure I didn't have any Rover or Sandy's around my desk. The Lord promoted me as I went from the sweeper of the chapel at church to the one that went up who did a Bible study on Ephesians 2:14. What was that? The corner, it was the armor of God that was coming down. I did that Bible study in there, and eventually was the worship leader, which consisted of pushing play on the DVD player, while the worship leader would sing songs. And we would lead the guys in the tent. The first was this: Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Come on, guys. Let's get the worship started. That's how the worship was. Eventually, we found out that there was CDs. We had lyrics. We would give them folks the lyrics to put on. I can only imagine on the radio, they would start standing up and praising God. So the Lord started using me more and more. Fast forward to about a week before I got out of prison, I was being used of God. People were asking for prayers for healing. They would bring prayer requests to me of their family members outside. I started keeping track. 63 prayer requests from gentlemen and inmates. All 63 prayer requests got checked off except one, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. Use of God. The week before I got out, I got a call from Mom. I sat down with Mom. How much minutes? About 10 minutes? Okay. Let's get to that one prayer request first. This is killer. Remember I told you about skinhead swastika wearing guys that don't like Jesus, they don't like black people or anybody but white? Apparently I said something wrong to one of those type of guys in the bathroom, and he told me to take down my Bibles and my tracts off of mine. In prison you get a locker that's about 3 feet by 3 feet. That's where you put all your stuff in, and there's another one for your partner. And if you're in a dorm, I was in a dorm setting at that time, there's 300 men sleeping on bunks, metal bunks, and you have just a little space, and that's your area. I put Bibles and tracts on there for guys to grab from the dorm for the ritual. He told me to take all that stuff down. I said, "Who are you taking that down?" "Oh, wait." I said, "First off, tell him I'm sorry for offending him. And second off, I'm not taking it down. If he wants to fight about it, let's go to the back. I will die for my faith." And I said, "You can take your best guys. You better bring your best guys because I'm going to take a few of them out with me. But know this, that if you jump me and you beat me up, if you let me live, I will still say that I care for you and I love you and Jesus has died for you. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I will tell you that. Or if you kill me, I'll die with a smile on my face in the name of Jesus." They said at that, "Just forget about it, bro. You're a little bit nuts. We'll just let that go." His name was Buggy Whips. Started praying for him. 5 months after I got out of the pen, I was speaking at a men's group like this. Guess who was in the front row, front and center with his head hung low? Buggy Whips, the gentleman that tried to get me killed. He was saved. Yeah.